Okay guys, so my Singer Legacy SE-300 embroidery machine is in. I am going to unbox it in this video. I'll show you how to set it up, and we'll do a stitch, with a stitch design that comes in the, and we'll do a stitching design that comes in the, library that's included with the machine. So I will follow up with other videos on, importing your own design, those kinds of things, but for right now we're going to stick to what's in the box. Getting it going on your computer, which, by the way, cannot be a Mac. So that's just how it's been. I don't know if they've updated that. I recently looked, and I don't see any way to, put this into a Mac. So it's basically Windows-based kind of things, or like a PC. So if this is still available, I had picked this up on HSN when they had their Today Special. It depends on when you're watching what the pricing might be, but that's where I'll link it, and that would be an affiliate link, which means I make a small commission for your purchase items to those links. And yeah, so we're gonna open her up. I was just looking at the back, complimentary downloadable embroidery software, which is interesting. Sometimes it comes with a disc, but a lot of people don't have disk drives anymore, so I still have one. Of course I do, but now you download it, which is great. So as far as the box, it just says it has 3 stay bright LED lights, a drop feed, automatic thread tension, extra large embroidery area, which is really nice. I do have my little brother machine, my Disney one, and that one does come with some very small hoops, and there's no upgrading that. Like, that's just what it does. So it's kind of an introductory machine. This one does come with a larger hoop, so we'll talk all about that in a minute. But 200 embroidery designs, 6 alphabet options, which is great. LCD touch screen, very nice. USB stick embroidery design transfer. It doesn't say you have to buy it separately, so it should be in here. I don't know. 2 snap-on embroidery hoops included. Again, one is 10 1/4 by 6-inch large hoop. The other one's a 4-inch square small hoop. Having said that, that doesn't mean you can embroider all the way to the very edges of that. So there are going to be some areas where it's going to be, I would say, roughly an inch smaller than what it's saying the hoop size is about. It does it does come with 10 snap-on presser feet. And so we will possibly talk about those in a different video right now. Maybe we'll do some stitching, but basically I want to show you guys how to get to embroidering, right? So we're gonna definitely get there in this video. So maybe, oh man. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do, because that's what people want to do. But it is a sewing machine and an embroidery machine, okay? So extra large embroidery area. It does say it is a 10 1/4 by 6-inch embroidery area. I don't think so, because this has to get in here. So maybe what they're saying over here at the hoop size, the hoop itself is probably larger than that, so I hope that makes sense, because there is definitely an area where it's not going to touch. So maybe this hoop is like 11.5 inches, to accommodate for that. Okay. It also says here it comes with a stitch guide. The Singer is here to help to get you started, some info to get you started there. 10 one-touch basic stitches. Now this is for the stitching, right? The sewing machine part of it. 8 basic stitches, 7 stretch stitches. 118 decorative stitches, which is great. That is so cute. I know one of my machines, I had sold it and I bought it again because it had an alphabet stitch, which was so cute because you can program it to say like a person's name, and then that name would just repeat. It's really adorable. I don't know if this one has alphabets, but that's really fun. So we'll check that out once we open it. Satin stitches, elongation stitches, quilting stitches, heirloom stitches, all that. Let's see around here. I do have my address on here. This is the very front of the box. That doesn't have tons of information, so not too nothing to write home about there. The box is even more boring. So tells you it has Bobbin class 15, computer requirements for downloadable software, a PC. It's a PC with 1 gigahertz Intel and AMD processor, Windows OS, Windows Vista or greater, of course, 1 gigabyte of RAM or more recommended, 500 megabytes or more recommended for the space of the installation, right? And then other stuff is nothing that really matters. Laptop not included, right guys? Download complimentary embroidery software at singer.mysewnet.com. All right, let's open this up. Big box. So you're the type of person that saves boxes. I do, for no reason. So anyway, looks like I just had some tape there. I'm gonna pop this open. Sorry, I can't really do it with the camera. Myself is down this side where the microphone is. So I have several embroidery machines, so I, pretty much know what I'm talking about with these kinds of things. If you really need a really, I don't know, much quicker guide, I would say look at Singer's videos. A lot of times they leave things out that you might be curious of, but I go through each and everything. So you have your pedal for your, basically this is for your sewing. The embroidery part pretty much gets taken over by either the touch controls or by your computer if that's how you're going to run it. So we have those things. You have your power to your power cord. There are two things here, so let me back this up and see what we have here. Okay, there we go. My goodness. Okay, so this is your embroidery part, guys. So the machine itself doesn't look like it's going to be very big, but there you go. So like I said, it has a 4-inch area. This is obviously larger than that, so it's going to sew in a 4-inch area, but don't think because you have this thing that looks like maybe 5 by 6 or something that it's going to take up that whole space. It's not, because the machine obviously has to have room for the needle and all that. And then your larger hoop. I love that. Awesome. So that's really, really good. And then this guy is your embroidery attachment. This little guy, oh my goodness, this is just as big as my Futura, I want to say. So I have a Futura Quintet, which is a better machine, I guess, a higher caliber machine. So this one's kind of mid-grade, right? But look at that, it looks really nice and sleek. You do have a little release over here. We'll check that out. Basically, you can put some bobbin. Well, we'll talk about that in a minute. But you can put your different little tools in here. Very cool. And this thing just kind of moves around as it needs to for your embroidery. I'm gonna put this to the side, I'll be right back. These things kind of popped out. They're basically there for spacers because the machine itself is a little bit lower here. And here's all your info. Back in the day, this would come with a disc, a CD kind of drive thing, but it's not in there obviously, so we'll put that to the side. I'll put it over here. And the machine. Wow, okay. I don't want to hurt it, but I think the machine itself has a handle, so I kind of grabbed it by the handle. Of course, if my husband was here, I would have him just hold the box down, but there you go. Let's take this to our table and we'll take the plastic off. Okay guys, and I apologize because I know this video is going to be on the longer side. I like to go from start to finish, so let's pick this up. I haven't looked at it. I haven't really seen it because I wasn't really paying attention to anything about it. Check that out as far as like the demos. And that's another thing, you can go back and watch the demos down on HSN. If they're not available, like sometimes I'll link a little demo with the machine. You can definitely go on YouTube and say, HSN Singer Legacy or whatever, and it'll pull up all the videos from that. So really, really pretty machine. It has an interesting feel. It's heavy, guys. I'm not gonna lie, this thing is not weak, but that's good because we need it to have some good weight behind it. Like this is heavy and this is heavy. If I lift it with one arm, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 pounds. I know that's a big variation. I'm not really good at knowing how much something weighs just by holding it. But anyhow, beautiful machine. What you're gonna do from sewing to embroidery is obviously you're gonna get rid of this thing. I think it must have some kind of latch possibly that holds it. So nope, you just pull that one. This guy does have that latch that it clips and unclips when you slide it in there. But of course you're gonna remove this and then you would slide in the embroidery part. You can remove this to do sleeves, quilting, something that's smaller, something that, with quilting you want something bigger, but let's say you just had something small that you want to put in here. Everything goes underneath here. This is just a pedestal kind of thing. It's pretty. It has like a little picture there or some artwork. Let's see what this holds. This should hold something. Yeah, there you go. Oh, so again, it does have a little bit of a clippy. There's like a little thing here that I had to squeeze for it to open. So that's nice, a release. And in here you have your feet and other things. Does this open too? No, it's just for the clip. Something is in the way. There we go. So we have bobbins. We have things that help your bobbins. We have the way you're going to put your beautiful embroidery threads at the very top and to hold them down. Obviously, you're just your sewing threads. You have needles in here. You have the feet. There's just everything's in here. You have a little screwdriver, which lets me know that these feet might be. I know it says press on, like pop on, but we'll see. Sometimes you still have to use the screwdriver to switch out. It might be from the embroidery too, those kinds of things. They're like the button maker, kind of thing. And this looks like a ruffle. maker, maybe not. No, it's not a ruffler. That's bigger. It has to be just your button hole maker there. And then, oh, this is the little USB. It is very small, guys. Look at that. Wow. Okay, so it does come with it. Very cute. I've seen that you can pick these up separately. I'm assuming you can use a USB, a removable thumbnail. That's why a thumb drive. I used to do that. So I don't know, but we will find all that out. So let me close this back up. Actually, we're going to need some of these things. So let me think about what I want to do, reset my camera, and we'll go from there. You know what, guys? I think today we're going to set it up for just the stitching, and I'm sorry, I would love to jump into the embroidery, but the last video I did, you know, it did sewing and it did embroidery, and I think it's better to do the embroidery in the second video because it's going to be a very long video. So let's just focus on this. We have our presser foot, and a lot of times machines like this, you don't even need the presser foot. You can generally do your needle down and like go and stuff like that, but some of these things have to do with the embroidering. And I'm very sorry at the beginning, I know I kind of misled you, but it'll be very quick that I'll have the next video out, okay? So one day to the next, don't worry about that. So we have our presser foot. I am going to go ahead and also open this guy up. Looks like it's actually sealed up really well. It looks like a nice long cord. I will need that because my plug is like 5 feet away. I don't know, we'll see if that will work. It does have some nice length, but I might have to get an extension. Okay, and so this guy, of course, you're going to plug it in usually on the side, on this very, very side right here. There's going to be a little square, a little circle area, and of course you're going to plug it in the way it needs to be plugged in. And I'm going to show you a few things from that. So we have this guy. You're also going to plug that into the side. There's a little hole. There's only one, and that's where that goes. I put it on the floor. I'm going to take this off of the tripod and show you a little bit of the machine. The foot that's on here is already the presser foot, just your basic stitching. You can also move your needle left and right to the center, however, whatever position you want it to be at. You do have your guides here, which are really nice. Generally, when you're, quilting 1/4 inch, hems or seams, should I say, if you have a hem that has to be a certain thing, you can generally use these guys to line your fabric up by and just sew, right? These are some of the tools or buttons, I guess, functions that we'll need while we're doing our embroidery. It has some different knobs here for 1, 2, N, 4, and 5, and we'll see all about that. Probably has to do with the tension. This is where we're going to choose our stitches. There's a little home, there's little tools, there's settings. Already some basic functions are kind of shown there. Very cute little design. This is where our USB goes in to import our own designs, so we'll talk about that when we get to the embroidery. Again, I just plugged these guys in, but just to show you, there is an on and off switch also right here. Okay, you can put your needle up and down with this guy manually. Oh, it looks like there's some stuff up here. I love that. I was gonna say the machine has a very clean design, and I wasn't even thinking about what are the things we're not looking at. This is where you're gonna put your threads. You're gonna do your bobbins. We'll do all that. You're gonna thread your needle, of course, so we'll talk all about that today. And then it has a quick guide here for some of these stitches. Your buttonhole, your basic stitches, your stretch, decorative. Look at all those cute stitches. Oh my goodness, I don't see an alphabet. Do you guys see it? I don't see it. That's okay. And I really wanted a machine. That's why I repurchased the same machine I sold before, because I wanted that little alphabet. Look at the little bow. Oh my goodness. Super cute. So we'll try some of these stitches out today just to see kind of how they look. And okay, so we close that up. The machine is super clean. It has a nice little handle here. And let me see if there's anything about the back of the machine that's anything special. Not really, just a Singer back there. Okay, let's look over this guy right quick. The manual, I'll be right back. We have our quick start guide, of course, and it's already, plug it in. First thing they want you to do is wind your bobbins. I love that. It has all kinds of cute stuff there. Okay, so it's showing you how to get your thread in there, to get it wound up on your bobbin, how to do all that, right? It goes down this way for like 7, 8, 9, 10 over here, and then how to get the bobbin into your bobbin area, of course. And then it says number 1, do your bobbin. Number 2, how to thread the top thread. And this is essentially the same if you're, you know, embroidering or if you're sewing, because you're going to need your top thread, you're going to need your bobbin thread. For embroidery, you need embroidery bobbin thread. It's really, really thin. It's thinner than just, you know, winding the top and the bobbin and your top thread with the same thread, which is what we'll do today because we're just sewing. But if you're doing your embroidery, we'll talk all about that in the next video. I have all the stuff that you need for it to get going. So I'm sorry again that in this one we're just sticking to the sewing, threading our needle, all that good stuff, and a few stitches just to check it out, okay? And of course you have your instruction manual that is tons of pages. Obviously it has different languages here. You know, they're going to walk you through all your embroidery, editing designs. That's really nice. Selecting designs, how to prepare your embroidery. So it's always a great reference. And again, it's usually pretty simple. You're going to have some kind of stabilizer, your fabric, and you're going to go from there. And that's basically what it says here. Stabilizer, hoop position, fabric, and your embroidery surface, which is just the top of your fabric, right? So all kinds of interesting info. The least amount they're going to tell you about is the sewing, because that's a pretty basic function. So I guess to get started, let's go ahead and move this. It already has your presser foot that you're going to want for sewing. You're going to switch that out for your embroidery. I will show you, in case you're curious already, what the embroidery one looks like. It's this guy. And that is basically why you need the little screwdriver that's in here, because you definitely need, it's not just popping it off and on like this, and I will talk about that in just a moment. So I'll show you how to pop on and off your feet like this one. See how it doesn't really have anything, it just pops back on. It just basically clicks in here, all your feet, and that's great. But for the embroidery, you have to switch out to this little hoopy looking guy, right? So that's why you need your screwdriver. It's a flathead screwdriver. So I'm gonna look and see what they want you to use for the bobbin thread and all that, as far as if I need any of these pieces. I know they showed you a little image of like this little guy or something. So let me just see what they're talking about and I'll be right back. Oh, and grab a bobbin, of course. They come with several, but these are really just generic little easy bobbins. You can find these, I think, even at the Dollar Tree. I don't know how step by step you guys need, but we're just gonna close this back up. The buttonhole is in there. I have never made a button hole like this way, so I will not be the one to show you guys that, but I'm sure there are other videos out there. So we're just going to clip that back on. So we need some thread. This is just some polyester thread. Whatever thread you're using for your sewing, grab that. We're going to do a bobbin with the same thing and our top thread with the same one. So I'm going to use that. It's very fancy, this machine. It comes with this little guy that's going to help you cap this off, so it doesn't just like unravel in a crazy way or move around too much. And it also comes with this little buffer. It comes with a couple of these little discs, so we will talk about that in a moment, but you'll need that. It's going to look something like this when you put it into the top portion of your machine. We're going to need a bobbin, and I'm going to plug it in and see what happens. So I haven't, obviously I have no idea. Let's see. Plugged it in, nothing is happening because we need to turn it on. Right here, our little switch, just flip it. Oh, pretty lights. Love that. It's telling me to check some things. Right now, there's already a needle in here, guys. And so, again, you can manipulate the needle going up and down. I don't know if you can see how it's going up and down there, right? Okay, we don't care about that right now because we're just going to do our bobbin. And just check that everything's good, you know. And I guess we'll just say it's fine. I don't know. Maybe that's just what home base looks like. Let's see. Yeah, it's not doing anything. Nope, not doing anything. Maybe that's so funny. So yeah, it's up, it's down, everything's good. All right, well, let's open this guy up. Okay, so I just readjusted because basically we're going to pay attention to this part and a little bit of the screen. So maybe I'll just bring this down. We don't really care about our stitch functions right now. What we want is this, and you're going to place this little felt washer. Pop that guy in there, and then, I mean, you can take this off or pop through it. I just normally let the thing pop through, but we're looking for the very tip of, or the beginning of our thread. I'll say most companies make it nice because they put a little cut in that plastic, and that's where they leave that, so I'll just pop that there. It doesn't really say like your thread should come out in a certain way. I'm sure there's a certain way to do this properly that works well, but I'm just going to do it this way. That's kind of what the picture is showing. Coming out from the bottom, then out that way. I don't know. Okay, so let's just pop this in. Sorry about hitting my thing. That came off anyway, so let's just get rid of that. Let's get rid of this, and then we're gonna cap it off with this little cap. I will say, if you have huge embroidery spools, which we'll do in the next video, it does come with like a little stocking that you put on it, and that helps it from unraveling like in a crazy way, so that's always good to have. All right, now this, I think they did a really nice job, other than I don't really know what they're showing you here, because what does that have to do with anything? I don't know. You're just going to, it's saying, obviously you're going to put these things on here. You're going to bring your thread and you're going to go through A and then B, and it has close-up shots of what A and B look like. So, very easy. We're going to go in here, and with A, there's a place to put it underneath, there's a place to put it on top. And so that's a little bit interesting, because I think, let me see here, put it underneath. Okay, that's what I'm doing, because you can also put it on the very top here. I'm putting it underneath, because in the picture that's what it looks like. So what I'm showing you is I'm putting it underneath, and if you look on the side, there's like a silver, there's just an opening, so I'm going under this thing, under the whole thing. And then I'm going to bring it over it, okay, and it comes out here. So there's like a little groove, there's a little space there for it. That's what it looks like to do, so that's what I'm doing. And then we're going to bring it over to B, which what they want you to do here is go around this metal piece. So this metal piece has like a little lip, a little opening on the right. We're going to go around it to go in there. And then you always go around this circle, and it even has a little drawing, a little arrow there for you guys on that. So definitely go for that. So we're going to go around this little circle. That little circle, when you get under it, it tightens it. So kind of pull it taut, so it pulls it in there, okay? And now we're supposed to have our spool, and then we're going to pop the spool over here. So now that we have it there, you have your spool. You know, the spool does have like a little notch here, and it has it on both sides, so it doesn't really matter. It looks exactly the same. What you're going to want to do is get this through one of the little holes. So there's these little tiny holes in your spool. So I will try and get that through there and not bore you guys. Maybe I have to get off camera because it's very hard for me to see this. But basically this goes through like this little hole, guys. There's other spaces that look like a hole. It's not. That's just where it was machined and cut off. Look for an actual hole and put your thread from the inside out. So from the inside of the spool going out, and I'm probably gonna have to do this off camera. Oh, hold on. All right, there we go. So it's going from the inside out, okay? And then you're gonna bring it over here and you're gonna put it down on, oh, let me readjust this. Sorry guys, sorry about that. So you're gonna bring it over here. You're gonna hold on to your thread. You don't want that to release. You're gonna pop this down in here. There's a little notch on the very inside of your bobbin that can meet up with this little piece of silver here. So there you go. And I'll show you what I mean. I had to turn it so that this little thing would click in to this little notch on the inside of your bobbin, okay? So you heard it click, just look for that. But do not let go of this. And then, basically you're just gonna hold that up. You're going to bring this over. And this is step 6 is what they're showing you. So just move this, you're still holding your thread, you bring that, do you see how that changed? And then you can say how quickly do you want it to thread it, or to wind the bobbin. And I'm going for quick, so I'm gonna hold this, do not let go of that, and press play. And it started off kind of slow, and then it keeps going, and you can let go of this thread now. And you know, how much do you want on there? This is very smooth and very cool, and I love it. So it'll stop once it gets to a certain thickness. So you can either wind the whole thing, or if you're doing a small project you don't want that much, maybe you'll stop, because it really doesn't take that much bobbin thread for this kind of stitching. But it will stop when it gets to a certain amount, so I'm going to let it keep going so you guys can see what that is. There it goes. It automatically stopped, right? Okay, and then you can just cut that with your scissors, and then just unloop it to bring everything back out. We're going to leave this here because we're going to use this for actual for sewing, right? So now we can get this guy out. It has this start now. This guy, you can dig that out and cut that off. Actually, oh, I'm sorry guys, you know, after I was talking about cutting this off, I forgot that there's an actual blade here for you guys to do that. So like, let's pretend we had just finished that up and it's still on here, and I'm like, okay, I would bring it over here and pull through there, and it cuts it off, guys. So you do have that. That's a nice feature, right? I didn't have to go grab scissors, although they're right here with me, so I just grabbed them. Cut that extra one off, the one that's coming out from where you began, and your bobbin is ready to be used, okay? So now we're gonna insert our bobbin, right? We need to get that in here. So let's focus on that, and I'll be right back. Okay So we're focusing on the bobbin area. We have our little bobbin, and you just pop this open, boop, right? You release that, it pops this guy off. We're gonna put that to the side. We will not dispose of that. There's already an empty bobbin, so there's an extra bobbin here for you. We'll put that to the side. And that is number 9. So number 10 is showing you to bring your bobbin in with the thread going this way. Hopefully you can see that. It's unraveling in that direction. Okay? So thread going to the right. So we're gonna bring this and just pop it in. Then you're gonna get your thread, and it pretty much shows you here what you're gonna do. There's a little arrow that goes there, and it goes this way and then this way. And that's all you're gonna do. And then pop the lid back on. So just follow it there. Follow it around here. It just kind of falls into the groove because it's actually not a groove. There's actually a space here. It's a piece of plastic like that's lifted up. So you come in here and then you go doop, and it cuts that off, right? So it's already in there, and then you just put your lid back on, guys, and you just successfully did your bobbin thread and release. So if you have a trouble like I am having, pick up your presser foot. Just go to the presser foot here, the lever, it's on the right behind the presser foot. Lift it up and pop that down, and that's it. You're ready to go. So when I say you're ready to go, let me put the presser foot back down. We need to thread the top of our machine. So that was step 1 of just preparing a bobbin, right? Step 2, it says to turn over, and that's basically threading the machine. So I'm gonna glance over this really quick and see if it's anything different than I normally would do, and then we'll go for it. So I will say, the images they're showing you are with the embroidery attachment on. That doesn't matter, okay? So don't feel like that has to be on there. It's fine, it's all the same stuff. But they are saying they want the presser foot up, which is generally what you do when you thread a machine, and the needle all the way up in the highest position. And they're telling you to always only turn the needle towards you, which is interesting, the hand wheel towards you, because I've done it both ways. But anyway, they say to just turn it towards you. So we are going to bring the needle up, and I know this is hard for you to see. There's a little lever right here. I'm already touching it. Okay? Maybe you can see it a little bit. That's going to lift your presser foot up. So the presser foot went up. Now they want you to also come over here and turn the hand wheel towards you so that the needle goes to the highest position. This whole thing, see how it's moving up, up, up? And then if you keep going, it's going to start going back down generally. But you know what? This machine doesn't do that. Oh yeah, it does. There it goes. So just at the highest position. Bring it all the way up, but if you keep going, it's going to start going back down, okay? So just keep turning it towards you to go back up to the highest position. If you overshoot it, that's not a problem. Okay, so a couple things. We're already kind of threaded a little bit here, but you're not going in the same direction. See, now this is a much better image. See what it's showing you? How it comes in and up in the other direction? Let me just show you why this is a little bit confusing, especially if you're new. It's not really showing that, but I guess they're saying, look, if you can't see it, that's what we're showing you. It's underneath and then under this thing, but it doesn't really show you that you're hooking it around. I mean, it does, but it doesn't, right? Especially if you're not sure what you're doing. But anyway, this is a much better picture. So we're already kind of there, but we're not going to go up into that same space, right? Underneath this plastic piece right here. We're going to come up over here. The machine always has the arrows and shows you basically what you're doing. It doesn't have the numbers like this one does, like 1, 2, 3, 4. But it does have little arrows here. And I'll readjust a little bit. So I know that was a real little bit, but that's what it is. They want you to go up in here and then around over here, down into the machine, this little area. All these openings do have a space behind them, so even though it looks like it's not doing anything, it will go in here, it'll hook down, it'll go this way, and then there's some special things we have to do there. So let me just make sure that that is correct, because there's a little hook here, and in no time have they shown you to use that little hook, but maybe it's when you're doing your embroidery or something else, I don't know, but there's a special little hook here that we are not using for whatever reason. I mean, they didn't show it. So I'm gonna do what it says. All right, guys. So we have this, again, under this piece of metal, okay? There's a space underneath it. And then around here, just keep bringing your thread over. And it's gonna be really loose because your presser foot is up, and it just releases the tension on the thread even here, okay? So we're gonna bring it down into here. We're gonna bring it up around, and then back into here, and down here. So I need more thread, I just ran out, so you just pull it, it'll just very easily come towards you. It's no big deal. I'm gonna readjust my camera to show you what it looks like down in here. We are at my dining room table, so don't mind my tortilla warmer over there and things like that. So we just went and did all that looping, right? So we have this thread here. there's a little loop right here, like something to catch here, like a little hook. What you're going to do is just bring your thread, and I'm holding it with 2 hands so you have some tension because you want to go pop it right in there, okay? See that? Pops right in here. So now it's behind this piece of metal, okay? And then from there, they are saying to go ahead and use your automatic threader, guys. So that's very interesting. All right, let's try it. So from here, the automatic threader has this little hook. It's like upside down, right? You think it's not going to catch it this way. You're just going to place it there as a guide. Okay, so just pull your thread towards that. Try to get my hand out of the way. And as you push down, if your needle is in the right position and you bring this over, it should catch it. But I don't know. There we go. So you're bringing this forward. I might have missed it because of the way I held it, yeah. So I just want to show you guys. You go in here, and then you kind of bring it across, okay? But as you go down in here, this guy's gonna pull in, at least it should, and it should catch your thread. Now if I let it go, it caught it, and it pulled it back up for me, okay? What I'm gonna do is now remove it from there. You have this little loop that you just pull through, so I hope you guys can see this. You just keep pulling towards the back of the machine. Don't bring it towards the front. And there it is, you guys. I mean, that is threaded, essentially. So now once you have it there, all you're gonna do is bring this guy down through your presser foot. I mean, I guess you could leave it back here, but generally I bring it through the presser foot and then pull it back towards the back of the machine. All right? And then now we want to catch our bobbin thread. So it's kind of interesting. It's not really saying that you should bring it back down the lever, which is interesting. Generally I bring this down and I pull it through, but what they're saying is just to catch it. Let's see. Yep. So it's saying keep the presser foot up. I'm going to use the wheel. Sorry guys. And you have to turn it towards you, right? So I want you to see this. So I'm going to turn the wheel with my right hand towards me. And you see the needle is going down. It's going to go down. You're still holding this thread. You don't want to lose it. It's going down. It's going down. And as it does that, it's going to come back up. And it should pull your bobbin thread up for you. And I can see that it did. If you keep pulling, now I'm going to pull my thread here. The bobbin thread comes up together. I don't know if you can see that, but there'll be like a little loop, so keep pulling, and there's our bobbin thread. Okay, it's definitely different from the thread that comes out from the top. So just give that a pull so you don't lose it. And essentially, guys, you can put your foot down and you are ready to sew. So machines are really basic that way. Once you've worked with one machine, you pretty much know how to thread something. It's very obvious now with the new machines, the way they put the little arrows right on there for you to do that. It would be the exact same thing if you're using the embroidery foot. You would just have removed this guy. There's a big nut here, so you would, or screw, you unscrew that, take it off. Just remove the whole foot, this whole thing, this whole section. While we're here and looking at it very closely, I'm going to readjust just a little bit. I'm going to show you how to change out the feet, okay? Why would you change out the feet? To do the buttonhole. With that one you probably also have to remove the whole thing. To do a certain stitch. So this has a big opening, right? And there's lots of stitches that will just need this guy. To be honest, I hardly ever use any of the other feet, but it did come with extra feet. So I just want to show you how they pop off and on very easily. And I'm going to bring them out of the bag, so I'll be right back. Along with the screwdriver thing, you have this guy that can also help you open things up if you need it. You have the screwdriver. You have, again, those little stitch stockinette kind of bag thing that I was telling you about that helps you keep your embroidery thread nice and neat. You have a little cleaner. Sometimes you get dust here and there. You can use that. There's like different reasons that you might want to pick at something there. It does give you a replacement, or actually there might be a space to put this on extra. We'll talk about that later, because sometimes you might want something like this somewhere else. So there can accommodate a bigger bobbin. So we will talk about that in the next video because I don't really need it right now. This guy, you know, whatever you use this for, maybe it is for quilting because it's a big foot and it gives you your measurements really super clearly, right? I will say, if you're measuring 1/4 inch but your needle is far left, that's going to be more than a 1/4 inch if you're on this edge, right? If you're thinking this is the 1/4 inch edge but your needle's to the left, it's going to be fatter than a 1/4 inch. So right in the center, that's where it's measuring 1/4 inch from. It's generally the edge of your presser foot. So if you're quilting, just kind of keep going there. Keep it lined up with the very edge. your fabric, and you should have your 1/4 inch, but you know, it just depends. So whatever you're looking for. So you have this foot, you have this guy, and you can look in your book all about what these are. I think this is the one that gives you a hem, right? This looks like, because it kind of pushes it in. We have, this one says N, this one says D. All kinds of feet that, again, I hardly ever switch out to, but I don't really do a lot of seamstress type work or anything else. This one looks pretty much the same. There are sometimes, I will say, there are some feet that have like the feed dogs or like flat or whatever it is. So these are all flat down here. They have different purposes. Of course, read all in your book about that. This is, I think, is a zipper foot. I know that. And I mean, there are some extra things here. Look at this guy. Okay, so you have all these feet, plus the embroidery one. All right, so I want to switch it out. Okay, so how do you do that? So what you can do is just on the back here, switch out your foot. So we're gonna lift this up. This is the lever I've been touching this whole time. We're gonna lift that up, and on the back there's a little black bump. And I don't need to get it in camera because you know, all you do is press it right behind the foot. Just press it. You saw that it fell out. And let's say I have a new foot, another foot that I want to try out. I need to do God knows what. So I'm going to bring this over here. Your foot facing forward. Generally it's tilted so that you can get your fabric under that. That's how you know that's the front. It says B. I would bring it over here and just place it right under where the other one came from, right? It's going to catch that little bar. So now all you do is just bring your foot down, bring your lever down, and it should grab the foot. And I didn't hear it clicking, but let's see. Yeah, I did not grab it. Hello. Let me see what the difference is. My other machines would just grab it at that point. So let me see what the issue is. Okay, guys. And so as to not confuse, just put your presser down. Sorry, I was saying something else. And it's just sitting on top of the foot right now. So you're gonna press that little black button again, and it just opens up and grabs that foot. So now when you open it up, look, the foot is on there. And that's how you switch out your feet. So I'm gonna drop that one because I don't want to use this one. I mean, it looks just fine, but I'm gonna put back the one that came with, because that's generally I keep it on A. If there are other stitches, let's bring this here. Let's put this down. Oh, and see, that is so funny. So remember I paused because I was like, oh, it's not picking it up. This time it did just grab it. So maybe it depends on the height of the foot because it just forces itself in, but this one did not, you know? So either way, just press the black button. It'll kind of fall down into the foot. Okay, so there you go. It's so funny. Because I was like, am I a crazy person? Because this is how my other machine worked. I would just bring it back down, it would grab it. Okay, there's quite a few different things here, guys. Those are the very basic things of getting this guy started. Obviously it's an electronic machine. What I'm gonna do is go and get some fabric or something to stitch on, right? And I will say a couple other things. You get your seam ripper, and it's well protected, and then you can just pop it in here and you can use that. Hopefully you don't have to do that too often, but sometimes you do have to rip a seam. Something went wrong or something you stitched too far or whatever it might be. Again, these are like guides. These have to do with like some of these other feet, but I would leave you to read all about that because, yeah. Yeah, I just don't do that much, to be honest. I pretty much keep the same foot. I will say there are stitches where you need to switch out the foot, and it will tell you that. So like, the machine should tell you like to make sure you have the end, you know, foot in here or however. So let me show you what I mean by that. So we're already all ready to sew, right? Right now we have this. It's telling me to check things, whatever I was doing. It says you can press the home button at any time, but guess what? There we go. We said everything's okay. The machine kind of moves around a little bit because it's just getting things ready. And we have all these things here, right? So you have the option to select the stitch length, the stitch width. You can find out information about the stitch. There's all kinds of things you can do here. You know, let's say I want one of the designs that we have up here at top, right? So I'm just gonna pick one. I know you guys can't see it right now, but let's say 132. Okay. And so to select the stitch, like I said, we want to do 132. we're just gonna do this. This is a combination of stitches. So there's a way to also mix and match stitches, I guess. So that's the B button. They're calling this A and this B. So let's press A. It does say to tap it lightly, not to press, and not to use the sharp object because you're gonna mess that screen up, and of course you don't wanna do that. So I say we wanna do 132, right? So let's, it says by pressing one of the direct selection buttons, 0 through 9, you can select that stitch number immediately. So apparently 0 through 9, these guys here, are gonna do what it's showing you, which is basically your straight stitch, your zigzag, your kind of like hem kind of stitch, and some other fun things, right? Some of the more popular options. Very interesting. They like this weird zigzaggy one, and like this guy, kind of like a serger kind of stitch, somewhat. But if not, you're going to want to put in the numbers that you want. So funny enough, it says to push the number quickly in quick succession, because if you just press 1 and then kind of wait to do the next one, it's going to go to stitch number 1, right? So we want, again, 132. So 132. And it just changed there. The machine moved a little bit, right? The needle. And it's showing me this. And it's telling me I need B. Okay, that's what I was going to tell you. You don't have to memorize these things. You don't even have to look back in your book. It's going to tell you you need the presser foot B. And basically, you know, let me find that one for you. And that would be this guy. So I would switch out my presser foot to B, and it'll be ready to go with that. And when you stitch, it's just going to stitch that, right? The whole time. You want to change up the stitch length, the stitch width, all those kinds of fun things. You can do that here, you know. It shows you there how it's going to look. So I think with these little ones where it's kind of special, you probably want to leave it to what it is. Of course, if you're doing a straight stitch, you can make them longer, shorter. That's what I mean by length. And then stitch width. Some stitches obviously have different widths, like zigzag stitches. Some are just going to be the same thing. Like on a straight stitch, there's really no width. There's lengths, right? How long do you want each little stitch? So just things like that. I suppose if I want to clear that out, I would do something that's going to clear it out. So let me see what they recommend for that. Okay guys, so I don't see a lot about that. I'm sure there's something, you know, there's even a file here. So there are ways to reverse the images, all kinds of fun things that you can look into. Right now we're doing our basic stitch, guys, so hopefully that helps you out. But you're just going to choose the one, you don't have to clear it out. I guess if you just did home or something else, you might clear it out that way. But I just want a straight stitch, so I'm gonna press 0. And it just switched over to straight stitch. Sometimes you hear these little movements. What's happening is the needle's moving to where it needs to be to do the stitch. And right now it just moved back to the middle, basically. Okay, you know, how long do you want the stitch? On this one, there's not really any width because it's what it is, right? It's how long do you want it? It's at 2.5 right now, you know, maybe 2, whatever. It, you know, these little tighter stitches are bigger. I think 2.5 it seems pretty standard. I think we'll do that. And it says you need the A foot, which is already on there. And so I am going to grab some fabric, guys, or something, and we'll just get trying this out, okay? I'll be right back. You know, the more I read about this machine is really, really nice. It is really good. So there are some options on here that I didn't even have on my first, you know, embroidery machine and things. Love the little Singer signage here. You have a tack button. So if you press the tack button, it'll do a couple stitches. It'll stop on its own. You do your sewing, press it again. It'll tack the stitches at the end also, and it stops on its own. You can definitely do that by pressing reverse, but you would, you know, tack it however you want. But it's nice to have the function already because it'll just do it for you to begin with. So we're going to use that. You have your needle up and needle down. I will say, let's get this thread. Remember, I switch out the feet. I'm going to get it back under here. So go back through your little foot and just put it back, you know, so you have that ready to go. I can show you what that looks like. So it's basically needle down and then needle up. Okay, I'm gonna take the slack out of that. So just put that back. It'll bring it down for you and bring it back up. This is your sewing speed. You know, you can sew with this thing just by pressing play without even stepping on the presser foot. You don't need the presser foot. I haven't even used a computer yet, guys, because that's for the embroidery part. So you can control it like slower or faster. We'll mess that a little bit and we'll see what that looks like. It will, at the end of your sewing, you can press this and it will cut your threads for you, which is amazing. And then this is a reverse. So like I said, you can tack down your own stitches using the reverse. It does say not to, you know, reverse with your wheel because they want you to do it here. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to mess the machine up, but I always just use the wheel too sometimes, right? To get the needle where I want it. So right now it's dead center. You know, some of the stitches, again, you choose your different stitches. Some of them will be on the left and some will be on the right. And that's, you know, your basic stitches there you can read about. You have your button and loop and all those things. So I have this little fabric I just picked up at Hobby Lobby. I honestly don't know what I want to do with you guys, or for you guys, should I say. It's just a fat quarter. I think what I'm going to do is make like a little gift bag. Like a little sack or something. And I'm not even gonna iron this, guys. I really don't care. So I'm just gonna cut this in half. I'll be right back. Okay, guys. So I just have a piece of fabric. Honestly, it's just folded over. I know it's hard to see. It's just a piece of fabric that's folded over. It's probably, you know, it's the length of a fat quarter and maybe 9 inches wide. I don't know. But I'm gonna turn it inside out because obviously we're gonna sew this. And generally you would want to iron this and make sure everything's nice, but we're just trying a little something out. So I'm matching up these two sides. It does say there's a 1/4 inch right here. So if you follow along with this, and like I told you guys earlier that you can follow along usually with the edge of your presser foot is a 1/4 inch, but it's not right now, okay? So right now the stitch, the needle is right in the middle, and it's telling me this is the 1/4 inch, this red line right here. So don't go by the edge of this. Now you can manipulate this again to be far left, to be on far right over here, and then it's probably a 1/4 inch. But if your needle is right in the center, we're gonna pick this up, we're gonna get our fabric up under the presser foot, and then close it down. If I follow this line, it should be a 1/4 inch, so I'm trying to get there. Okay, and then where you want to start. So you can press, you're gonna hold your threads, you're always holding your threads. If you just wanna do needle down, you hold your threads because you don't want it to just like go away, because sometimes it will, it'll just suck it back up. Guys, I'm sorry, if it's not one thing, it's another. Okay, my stuff came down. Okay, so we have it here. Again, I'm trying to keep it on that 1/4 inch on that red line. Barely bringing my fabric right under the space. It's not way back, it's just right under where my needle would kind of start. So I'm gonna hold my threads. And this is a little bit trickier because obviously you want to hold the threads but also hold your fabric. But holding the threads, I'm going to do a little tack down. Okay, sorry, so we press that tack down button and now we have to press play for it to do it. And it's going to do it on its own. You see that? It went back and forth a few times. All right, now we're good to go. Okay, so I can either press the presser foot, right? Which, to be honest, I prefer because I feel like I can control it. So I'm gonna press the presser foot right now just so you can see what that feels like. So I'm gonna press it, it's already plugged in from before, right? And I'm keeping this 1/4 inch, you know, trying to keep on that line. So I'm holding my 2 layers and we're going. All right, so that is with the presser foot. Let's just press play. And that's also gonna sew for us. And we can speed it up. We can slow it down. Okay, and we can stop. That is really fast, even on the slower, that's pretty slow, fast. So I'm gonna bring that out. I'm going to bring it back over here. Actually, we're just gonna cut it off because I already went too far. So I'm gonna bring this out here. I just pulled that, you don't have to do that. We're gonna say to cut the thread. That is insane to me, look. And it cuts the thread. And where's the rest of the thread? Is it here? That's kind of scary because I feel like you lose your bobbin. So maybe that's not my favorite option because you see that? The bobbin thread is gone. So now I gotta grab the bobbin thread again. So let's leave that up. Turn your wheel towards you, right? Turn the wheel towards you. And let's grab the bobbin thread again. I'm pulling this thread until the bobbin thread comes up with me. And there it is. Comes out from underneath. And you just have to grab it and pull that out. So I don't know if that's my favorite option. I'd probably rather cut it myself. I'm assuming there's a little cutter over here. Let's see if there's a cutter on the side. Let's pull some of this out. Let's turn this down. And yep, okay. So right under here, there's a little gray button. I know you don't see it. It's like a gray piece of plastic sitting here. Just go around it and pull towards you and it'll cut your thread. I don't know that I like that automatic cutting. I suppose if I was done sewing, then that's fine. We went a little wild here, okay? Because again, I was trying the different speeds. What you want to do when you're stitching is look at your stitches. Does it look like everything is laid perfectly? And honestly, I think this wants to focus somewhere else here. That looks really good. Do you see that's the bobbin thread, the underneath part, the top one? Everything looks really, really good. If you're getting a bunch of thread bunched up at the bottom and it's just making like a ball of thread, your tension is way too loose, okay? And if you're getting thread up here at the top, like these little weird bumps, it looks kind of crazy, then your tension's too tight. And you can kind of read about that. Let me back up a little bit. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I thought this information would be right there with the threading. It's not. It's on page 15 and 14 and 15. It's telling you that it should be evenly, you know, distributed, right? Your threads, your stitching. But again, it should look something like that. I mean, obviously, if you're looking at it microscopically, you might see that. What they're saying is, again, if the upper thread tension is too tight, it's going to look like a piece of thread and then just a bunch of big loops at the top. And if it's too loose, I don't know if they have the best picture of this, because generally what happens when it's too loose, it just makes a big ball of threads underneath, which is not great. So there you go. And it's talking about the tension. This book is actually really good. And I never go through the manuals, guys, as you can see. It tells you, you know, how to turn a corner, which is really nice. Basically, when you're turning a corner on your stitching, we'll talk about that in just a moment. So you want your needle down and then just lift your press foot up, turn it, put the press foot down, and keep going, right? But anyhow, so it's a really, really great resource. Okay, so again, because I'm old school, I just like to stitch things, you know, with the presser foot when I'm stitching. Obviously, if you're doing your embroidery, you're just going to press to go, but you're going to press play because there's nothing for you to do. So anyhow, I'm going to lift this up. I'm going to put it back on the 1/4 inch because I did not do a good job following that first time. Pop this back down. I'm going to hold my threads. I'm going to, up here, I know you don't see it right now because we're focusing down here, but I'm going to press the tack down. I'm going to press play. Let it do its thing, and when it stops, I'm going to sew with my foot. So I'm going to hold my fabric here and see if I do a much better job. You can also set the speed even though you're pressing the presser foot, but basically your presser foot, you're controlling it. If you go pedal to the metal, it's going to go faster. If you're just doing a little bit, pressing it with your foot, it's going to be slower, right? So I can show you what I mean. So there's that, but if I go faster, I'm pressing really fast or hard, I can let up on that tension, but on the foot there. And now I'm towards the end. I'm going to give it a couple more. Now that I'm towards the end, I can do my tack down again and press play and let it do a tack stitch. It's going to go back and forth a little bit. And it's basically tying that off for me. I'm going to lift up my presser foot. I'm going to pull this because it releases the tension. Close it back up, and I'm going to use again that thing on the side here to cut my threads and just bring it through. Okay, so essentially I made like a little bag. That's what I was trying to do for you guys. I suppose if I was going to do some cute stitches, I would have, I'm just turning it inside out, done that already. But here we have like a little gift bag, and basically what you can do on the top is do a little drawstring type thing. I mean, we could have thought about that before because I would have left some spaces open here. But basically you want to do a hem. You could do the hem before you make it into a bag. You can roll it over a couple times and then get it through here. Again, take this off because it will be a smaller space that you can then stitch on. Put your bag in there, do a hem or however you want. You know what, maybe we'll do one real quick and just to be silly, and we'll try one of the decorative stitches. So I'm not even going to try to hem this really nicely. I'm just going to bring this in. What I would normally do is bring this guy in and then do it again because obviously you don't want these frayed edges on the outside. But let's just make like a little bag. And so I'm just going to turn this in maybe like an inch. Let me do a little work with this though to flatten it out and make it a little bit nicer because right now it's all crooked. I'm ready to do something decorative, and I was looking at this. There's a little snowflake option. There's a few of them, but how about this one? It's very snowflakey. So 128. Okay, we're gonna choose 128 and see how it goes. Okay, so you know, now I'm just having fun with this. So this is what happens. It gets addicting. So I'm gonna do 128. I don't know if I pressed it fast enough. I did not. Okay. Okay, 128. My fingernail was too long. It's telling me I need B, so we're going to change out our presser foot, which we know how to do already, right? So we're going to lift up our presser foot. We're going to press that little black button in the back. We're going to move this guy, and we're going to bring in B. So let me grab it. Okay, so I have B, the one that confused me the first time when I was trying to switch it out. I'm just going to put that there. We're going to bring our presser foot down. It's not quite getting it, so I'm going to press the black button in the back and let that really pop in there. It just picked up B. Sometimes some things need a twin needle thing, sometimes some things need whatever it is, do whatever it tells you up here. Get the needle thread. There's a little slit in the B, like the presser foot, so just bring it through there and back so we don't lose that. It's saying it's going to do 7 whatever stitch, 8.4. I'm good with that. I'm not going to mess with this. I know you can't see it because of the glare, but it's telling me there's a certain width and height. That's fine. I'm going to take this off and see if that'll help me sew this little guy a little better. I am so looking forward to the next video, guys. I love embroidering. I just want you to have this information for your basic stitches. Now, again, we would use, you know, maybe some little pins to help you keep this nice and straight and all that. And a little ironing, but right now I just have it tucked in and I'm just gonna put it on here. I don't even know, oh, look at that. I was gonna say, I don't know, it might not fit. Let me readjust here. And I'm just gonna line this up with the edge of my foot, make it easy. Okay guys, so I'm gonna bring this over here and I'm gonna line it up to the edge of the foot. My thread kind of went off somewhere. Let's see if we can find it again because I do want to hold on to that. The bobbin thread isn't the biggest deal because it's going to catch anyway, but this top thread you want to basically hold on to it. I'm going to start in the center. I mean, you can start. Let's not do that. Let's have a little pride in our work. Okay, I'm going to start in one of the right near the seam from before, and I'm going to bring my presser foot down. I have my thread in my hand over here. I'm not going to tack down this stitch because it's a decorative stitch and I don't know what it would do. So I'm not going to tack it down. I'm just going to go for it. So basically needle down just to tack that and hold it for us. And I'm going to press my presser foot. Now, honestly, with this one, maybe you don't want to use the presser foot, right? I don't think it shouldn't mess with the stitch design, but let's say you go fast and it does it faster, and then when you slow down, it kind of it should do it the same always, though. I'm still going to use the presser foot, but again, well, now I'm scared to do it. Okay, I'm going to press play, and I'm just going to handle this. And I'm going to stop it because, okay, it looked like I lost my thread, but I did not. It's in there, so let's press play. It should pick up right where it was. And this guy is going back and forth quite a bit, so I'm not pulling it. I'm letting the feed dogs do what it needs to do. So a lot of times when you're quilting, you don't, or some other types of things, you don't want to use the feed dogs, but if it has a quilting stitch, it should remove them for you. So it'll either recess them or let them work. Like right now they're working, they're going back and forth and moving things. Sometimes you want free quilting, you just want the feed dogs gone and you're gonna move the thing around yourself. Sometimes you want it to, you know, be working however. So I'm not really pulling it, I'm just guiding. I'm holding this over here and I'm watching the edge of the presser foot, 'cause that's where I want my fabric. And again, if you start pulling it, that's gonna do different things. Okay, you don't want to. You're being very gentle with this stitch. That is so cool. I will say when you come across your little stitches from before your hems, you try to flatten them out. If I'm quilting, I usually flatten these guys out open, like one to the left, one to the right. I hope that makes sense. Right now they're kind of bunched up here, but they're not too bunchy, so it's gonna be okay. We're almost done with one half of this thing, so that's, you know, about 9 inches. And how long has it been? I know we've been talking for a little bit. Again, I would have had some pins holding that little hem flat. I'm just going to try to flatten it with my fingers as much as I can while it's getting pulled in by the machine. Let's guide that. There we go. And now it's actually stitching right on top of the hem right now. Okay. Back around, again keeping my little stitching. Don't forget that I'm trying to keep this over here. It's kind of moving on me. I'm gonna stop it real quick. I know it's not great, but I want to readjust this because I feel like it's pulling it in a funny way. Okay. Alright, we're gonna try it again. Just press play. This is an interesting one. Okay guys, I'm just gonna keep holding it, I'll be back. At the very end, it looks like I can get one more in there before I need to turn this off. So it's doing one, I'm gonna do one more right now, and then I'm gonna press to stop. Okay. I was just watching it, I can see that it was coming right back up on another one. So should we tack it down? I think maybe we should tack it down now. So I'm gonna do a tack down and press play. All right, so again, all I did was press tack down. I pressed, the needle down was already there, sorry. So I just pressed tack down, I pressed play, and now I am done. I don't want to use that cutting function. I don't really like it, guys. I'm not gonna lie. So needle up, I'm gonna lift my presser foot to release the tension. I'm gonna pull this guy out. I'm gonna close that back down. Again, I'm going to use the little side cutter. This thing has like 3 or 4 cutters, you know, and you can get it really close if you don't want to cut this later, but you're probably gonna have to still cut it anyway, right? These little guys. But you guys, look at how cute that is. Are you kidding? Oh, my camera wants to focus on something else. Look at the little stitches. Oh my gosh, that is adorable. I mean, it took a couple minutes, right? Let's see how well some of them... I will say right here, it got a little bit funky, but remember I was kind of freaking out because of the way it was stitching and it was getting kind of funny. And so that might have been me pulling it too much. So it's not perfect there, but it, you know, started straightening out again. These all look really great. That was just me being like, oh, I don't know. But it looks pretty good. That was at the beginning when I wasn't sure if I should be pulling it or not, so I kind of let the machine do its thing. So I did pull there, and it looked funky. But other than that, look how cute. Oh my gosh. So now we have like this little bag. You can put a little something in here, pull, you know, tight with a little ribbon or something. Let me gather my thoughts. I'll be right back. Okay, so as far as ease of use, oh my goodness, this is pretty easy, guys. I mean, what more could you ask for? That I'm like blown away. And you know, this little bag, again, it was just a half of a fat quarter, so basically a fat quarter, and I just cut it straight up the one side. So yeah, it's just a little bag, and then like I said, put something in there, tie it with a little ribbon, and you have a cute little bag. So just something quick I wanted to see if, you know, with the stitching and see how that came out. I am blown away. Super cute. I love the look of the machine. Again, it has some nice weight. It's not the heaviest thing, but it has some weight to it. So if you are wondering about that or think that it might be too heavy, I mean, I don't know. I would say it's a good 15 pounds. Again, the embroidery portion of it, you know, that arm is pretty heavy too. In the next video, we will bring out our computer, we will download the software, and we will get this going. And I'm so sorry I'm not doing it now, but you know, I'm sure this video is already an hour and I don't even feel like it was, but it is. I'm sure it is. So right now, you can, you know, just basically put your machine away, whatever, turn it off. I'm gonna turn it off over here, and then put your little portion down. I love this thing. I cannot believe, I'm just really happy with it. I don't even know what to say. Honestly, there's so much more to get into, but that is the very basics of getting the machine threaded, your bobbin threaded, getting it going, doing some stitches. Super cute. They give you tons of items. There are, you know, different needles in here, replacement needles, and then different ones. It looks like they're all the same, actually. I don't know if there's some different weights. For different fabrics, you might want different types of needles and stuff like that, but that is crazy. I know I talked about twin needle designs. I don't know anything about that for this machine. I didn't look into it. I hardly ever do them. I don't think I've ever done them, but I do have machines that can do that. You guys can see about the specs. I'm sorry if I mentioned that and, you know, it seemed like, oh, it must do it. I don't know that. I just threw that out there, but there's reasons why I use different feet, different things, you know, it'll tell you right on your machine there. All right, guys, thanks for hanging in there with me. I am not by any way or means a singer representative, obviously, or any of those things, but I do know my way around the machine pretty well. If not, I'll figure it out, and you might have those same questions. So I know my videos are not super streamlined or anything like that, but it's what it is. That's how it is when you get it home. You know, you might look at those images, they look good, and for the most part, some of the images I'm like, what are they trying to show you here? So we figured it out, didn't we? So, all right, guys, well, I'm super excited to get to the embroidery part of this. I can't wait. Thanks for watching. I'll have the links there for you guys, possibly embedded in the video. If you have any questions, please leave them. If I can't answer it in writing, because a lot of times it's easier to show you something, maybe I'll show it in the next video. I'll pick up from there, you know, having said, oh, you know, someone asked this question or whatever it might be. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you all at the next one. Bye now.